What is it today? 19th? Is that right? How's everybody doing tonight? Yes, 19th. Oh my gosh. Can't believe we're already almost all the way through with January. Woo. Yuka, Doc Zeno, what's up? Shin Kyoku, Maggie, Punchy Nuts. Man, you guys have been chatting up a storm while I've been getting things straightened up here. Side, I'm going to call you 007. What's going on? Arturo Fuente, Opus X. All right, I'm going to check that out this weekend. It has been a while since I've had a Arturo Fuente. I've got a punch set up for tonight that we'll get into here in just a minute. Traders Anonymous. Oh, looks like Streamlabs bot smacked you for some reason. I don't see anything wrong with your chat though. We'll get into GNS a little bit later on. We got a lot of topics to cover tonight. Just trying to read through all these chats real quick. Captain Arma, what's up? Doc Breezy. Doc Breezy says, just got home from Avatar 2. Great movie. Glad you liked it. Who is this? Shin Kyoku, member for 12 months. Already a year. Shin Kyoku, thank you for your support. 12 months. Got that upgraded badge to the gold. Thank you, Shin. When I created those badges 18 months ago, I wondered if I'd ever have anybody supporting this channel for a year as much as people hate on me. It's tough, guys, being the voice of reason, to ride that middle rail. You know, everybody either wants you to shit on stocks. You know, I want you to be bearish on everything, Tony, or I only want you to cover clickbait. Only tell me what I want to hear. We try and ride the middle and give you guys reasonable analysis. Some of it is my opinion. I will tell you when it's opinion, and there's going to be some opinions tonight. Boy, there are going to be some pissed off people after tonight's live stream. I tell you what, but that's what you're here for. I'm just teasing. I never intend to piss anybody off, but I am going to cover some facts. And what I share with you, you might not have heard anywhere else, and it might be upsetting if your regular diet consists of clickbait. But my intent is just to give you a well-rounded view of some of these plays. And then, you know, you don't have to listen to me. You don't even have to agree with me. Just take it and either throw it away or file it as maybe potentially useful down the road. That is up to you, what you do with the info. Doc Zeno says, I do a shot every time I take a shot. Doc Zeno, first little sip of the day just for you, my friend. Doc Zeno is a professional drinker. We often call him Adam Aaron since he's located right outside of Leawood, Kansas. But we don't know. We don't know if he's really Adam Aaron or not. If he is Adam Aaron, he's not working very hard because he's everywhere on the AMC channels. Doc Zeno, we appreciate you, buddy. Propagating plant parts. What is going on? All right. Zooming forward to the current chats. Jeffrey Roche, what's going on? All right. Roasted Caffeine says, I'm here for Mullen and Highcroft. Clickbait. No clickbait on those, unfortunately. That's the Highcroft and the Mullen coverage is probably going to be two of the things that piss people off. But I'm just going to read you what they said, what the companies said. And we're just going to touch on them briefly. And we'll go over on Mullen what happened with the vote today. So I don't know. What do y'all want to get into first on the stuff that's on the list? CPI. Someone asked me a great question. Let's just do that one because it's not confrontational, I don't think. Although you never know in YouTube and Twitter land what people decide to make a confrontation out of. But someone asked me about another video that a gentleman has out there talking about the weighting update. Let me put this up on the screen here. The weighting, increasing the relevance of consumer price index weights. So let's just talk about that real quick. This was issued on January 10th, and on the video, the gentleman was highlighting this change and saying that this is going to be a rule that the Fed is going to use to decrease interest rates faster than we might expect. And hey, maybe the gentleman is right, but I'm going to tell you what I read on this is different than how that gentleman interpreted this rule update. And basically, in a nutshell, what it says is that beginning with the January 2023 index, which is scheduled for publication on February 14th, the Bureau of Labor Statistics plans to update the spending weights in the calculation of the CPI every year instead of every 2 years. Now, in his video, he laid out a case that what they mean by that is that when they compare CPI, they're going to compare it to only a year ago instead of comparing it to an average of 2 years. And that's not what I'm reading here. When I read about the weighting or the weight of particular items in the basket of goods that create the CPI, each segment of goods inside that basket has a weight, depending on what people are spending money on. And they update the relevant size of that weighting by looking at what people are spending over 2 years. And now they're decreasing it to 1 year. So basically what they're doing is increasing the accuracy of each portion of the basket. That is how I'm reading this. Could I be wrong? Yes, I spent about 10 minutes reading this, so I haven't studied it deeply. But when I'm talking about changing the weight, this is not talking about comparing to a year ago or 2 years ago. It's tightening the frequency that you update the relevant weights of each part of the bucket or basket inside the CPI. I'll put a link in the video description. Some of y'all who are really bored, not in the video description, I'll put a link in the chat. Some of y'all who are really bored can go read that and tell me if I got it all wrong. But I think they're just trying to, they used to update the basket every 10 years, and then they change it to 2, and now they're changing it to 1. It just improves the accuracy of reporting CPI. All right, what do we want to talk about next? Highcroft, Mullen, Party City. Where is let's talk about Party City for a second. I saw a lot of videos in the past week saying that Party City is a buy. Don't worry about that pesky Chapter 11 announcement. That's probably nothing. Money's piling in, guys. Just go for it. Don't you worry your little hearts. That was right about here when they announced it. Let me zoom this in. And this is not the first time we've seen this stuff from the clickbait channels. Chapter 11 gets announced. And, look, I get asked about Party City all the time. You guys know I'm not a big fan of penny stocks, especially ones that are filing Chapter 11. But a lot of people are for some reason because they're cheap. So they got the Chapter 11 warning. This was the warning right here back on about the 6th. Videos flooding out. It's just a warning, guys. Don't worry about it. It's cheap. Load up. The hedgies, the shorts are scared. Buying opportunity. Thank you for the dip. I'm adding 1,000 more shares on this discount. God bless those shorts. It wasn't shorts that dumped this. That was people realizing the danger of a looming Chapter 11 getting the fuck out of the stock. But, people, like they do, retail, saw an opportunity and they jumped in. And hey, if you were Johnny on the spot and you got in and out in a couple days, that still was a great trade. So I'm not knocking anybody that was day trading this from 18 cents up to 60 cents. Beautiful trade, right? What I'm knocking is people making videos saying, don't worry about Chapter 11 looming in the future. You guys got to be smarter than that. Hopefully you were. If you took advantage of this on a momentum trade and got out, A+. But then the Chapter 11 was filed a day or two ago, and we immediately drop from 35 cents down to, I think it went to 12 or 15. And that is what happens when a Chapter 11 actually gets filed, and then it just went down from there. So I put up a chart in the Discord yesterday telling people what was showing them what was going to happen. And let me just drop it in. Let me see if I can get that screenshot. I compared it to another recent ticker that went through this same thing. You guys might remember that one. And the same thing happened with the clickbait channels. Don't worry about that pesky looming Chapter 11. And the reason I'm hammering on this also, if you're listening in and you might be holding or thinking about buying some BBBY, guess what you got right now? You're in, let me move this over. You're in this phase right here, right now. Here was AVCT. The warnings were in. The warnings were in. The Chapter 11 was coming, and people said, buy it, don't worry about that. And then, boom, Chapter 11 got filed, it fell. You get that little FOMO run up, what I call the crazy FOMO, people ignoring a Chapter 11 filing. And then a couple days later, what I call reality. It drops below that huge drop from when the warnings to the Chapter 11. You got a little bit of FOMO, and then now you're lower than the day that the Chapter 11 was announced. So compare that chart to, let me see if I can make this smaller. Compare that chart to PRTY. This is why I posted this in the Discord yesterday. It's the same damn thing. And Bed Bath & Beyond, if they file Chapter 11, if they file bankruptcy, declare bankruptcy, there is a considerable risk that you're going to see a major sell-off immediately. You might get a little bounce, just like on AVCT, and then it'll trail down while the whole process works out. So if you want to try and trade, for this little run-up, that's up to you. I'm just saying, if you're in it pre-bankruptcy filing, like this warnings were in section, and you're listening to people telling you, don't worry about it, it's going to be great, they got bye-bye baby. I just want you to understand the risk, that's all. And then you do what you want. I see this exact same type chart commonly, and I hate that people get snookered by folks on YouTube saying, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it one little bit. You're going to be fine. Also, what happens often in Chapter 11, the debt holders get taken care of, and the common stockholders get screwed. You get screwed. I see in these people in the YouTube videos, it's Chapter 11. All right, it's just a reorganization. They're going to wipe out the debt, and we'll be fine. Now you're going to get your investment, down to pennies on the dollar. All right, while I'm lighting up this stogie here, Why is this damn lighter? While I'm lighting this up, I'll let you guys pick what we want to look at next, Mullen or Highcroft. GNS, we'll get to it. Well, let's get the easy ones out of the way. Highcroft, Mullen, Highcroft. GNS, I will get to what I'm doing and what I expect. Let's put up, I've got Mullen pulled up. So let's just look at this. This will be quick and painless. All right. I want you guys, if you haven't done it and you're in Mullen or thinking about buying Mullen or listening to people saying, look at the pretty car, buy Mullen. Mullen's a great company. Look at the pretty car made in America. You mean the one prototype, right? I want you just to get on my level of where I'm coming at on Mullen to go read the 10Ks. And we have, starting on page 20, we've got, I don't know, risks that go all the way down to page 43. So you've got 23 pages of risks that Mullen is disclosing to you. And whatever you decide to do with Mullen, that's up to you. I don't own any Mullen right now. I have a price target on it that I'm willing to share with you. I've never bought Mullen because of how I view it and the risks. But I do have a price target that I'd be willing to buy in. I'm just going to highlight a couple of these again. If you're in my Discord, we've already talked about these. But number one that stood out to me, our auditor has expressed substantial doubt about our ability to continue as an ongoing concern. Number one, that ought to smack you in the face. If you're thinking Mullen's a slam dunk sure thing, their auditor has expressed substantial doubt about their ability to continue as a going concern. Up here at the top, we have not manufactured or sold any production vehicles and may never develop or manufacture any vehicles. I mean, some people are just going to push this off and say, that's just boilerplate, Tony. They got to say that. Okay, but I mean, they're telling you things that you should listen to. They may never produce a vehicle, guys. They had a meeting today. There's another one on the 25th to raise more money, in which case the risk of never producing anything will come off the table. But right now, there is a substantial risk that they may never produce a single vehicle. That is why they're trying to get this dilution passed. What else stood out here? There's a couple more in here. They have liens on their assets from the debt holders and the IRS. Here we go. Certain of our lenders and the IRS have liens on our assets. Like, why? Why does the IRS have liens on your assets? That's kind of concerning. And so on and so on. I'm not going to go through all of these because I'm not trying to bash Mullen. I just want you to make sure you understand the risk. Even though it's cheap, that Mullen is by no means a slam dunk. They had the meeting today. The reverse split proposal 1 passed. Oh, I know what else. Somewhere in here also says the Mullen 5 vehicle, although we originally thought that the production might start in deliveries in Q1 of next year, it's now Q4, guys. So you got 2 years basically until the first potential deliveries of the car that will, deliver them meaningful revenue. 2 years you got to wait on Mullen. That was disappointing to me also to see an update on the delivery schedule of the Mullen 5 is now late Q4 2024. At any rate, they have a delisting notice, so they had to have this vote. Today, proposal 1 for the reverse split passed. That will be a to be determined ratio between a 1 for 2 and a 1 for 25. So the board will decide. We don't know yet, and we don't have a date. The proposal number 2, which was to increase the dilution up to 5 billion shares, that got tabled again. Today was the second attempt at getting all these things voted on. You wonder why I don't want to talk about the AMC proxy and the vote. Mullen's on their second attempt to get this vote passed. And also, by the way, there were some contingencies in proposal. If I remember it correctly, there were contingencies between proposal 1 and proposal 2. And that's also something I'm going to be looking for on AMC's proxy vote. Are there any contingencies where one proposal outcome is dependent on the other? That's why I don't want to comment too much about AMC. At any rate, proposal 2 was to increase the dilution of 5 billion. That got pushed off to a third vote, which will now be January 25th. So a few days from now. That's all I got to say about Mullen. My price target where I would consider buying in for my own self is 15 cents. And even then, if I were to get 15 cents on January 24th, and then this stock does a reverse split and a dilution up to 5 billion, being that it is a penny stock in a very troubled company, I would expect that my 15 cent buy-in, I would probably lose money on it for a while. So I'm being really, really picky before I jump into something like this. It's at 27 cents right now. It was over 40 cents a couple days ago. Reverse splits don't bother me as much as the potential dilution on Mullen. Going from, what are we at, 1.75 billion shares to 5 billion. Oh man, that's a lot of selling. That's a lot of selling. But they need the cash. So I don't blame them. Don't get me wrong. They need the cash. But that's a lot of selling to stomach. So my guess is they'll do a 1 for 25, get that price up as high as they can, and they sure are hoping that the dilution vote passes on the 25th. All right, let's bring up Highcroft. This one's a pretty easy one. I've already covered Highcroft before with you guys. I have 3 videos from, I think, 4 months ago, which some people said I'm a paid bear because I'm reading Highcroft's investor relations. I'm a paid bear because I'm reading Highcroft's documents to you. Guys, if reading the company's own documents to you is a paid bear, then I say you're smoking something better than me. The place you want to go to understand what is happening is the company documents. Don't decode tweets. Don't make up your own narratives. Go to the company's documents and read what they're telling you, and you will get factual information. So my videos I did 3 or 4 months ago on Highcroft were reading you their documents and telling you months ago exactly what they're updating you with today, which is where they're at and what they're going to do. I'm just going to highlight a couple things in here. They finished phase 1 of the drilling and exploration plan. Now, remember, I said Highcroft is at the soonest a 2024 play. At the soonest, absolute soonest, for me, in my opinion, based on reading what they're telling me. Now they're going to be starting phase 2 of the exploration and drilling program, which means they are going to start drilling in areas outside the known resource, outside the areas that they have been drilling. Everywhere they've been drilling is already known resource, areas that they know that there is ore, but they've been doing further exploration. Now they want to step that out a little bit, so they got to go get permits. They got to bring in some different drilling rigs. Is what I'm telling you factual? Yes. Phase 1 was drilling within the current resource, what I just said, to establish continuity between higher grade zones. So that's what they were doing. Now they're going to expand that out in phase 2. They've got to get new permits, bring in some new drilling rigs. As a result, for phase 2, it's necessary to change out our drill rigs to accommodate phase 2 targets. Somewhere in here, it talks about having to get new permits too. What else? The company currently expects to receive all results by the end of March 2023. I think that's from phase 1. And these results, together with the 2023 exploration program, will be used for geologic modeling, updated resource models, detailed mine planning, and process equipment selection activities. This is all basically for the sulfide mill operation. They don't have a sulfide mill right now. So what they're trying to do, as I said months ago, is establish a new drilling plan, figure out what all equipment they're going to need to buy to create this new milling operation. And then at some point, I think it's fair to assume, as long as gold and silver prices stay high and it makes economical sense for them to invest more in the mine, that they're going to come at us with a pitch for probably about $750 million, maybe $1 billion of new equipment to build a sulfide milling plant. That's just my guess on the cost of this equipment, for the equipment and the construction and the permits and all that other stuff. What does that mean? You already know Highcroft is under $1. Sometime in I forget how many months we have left, but there will be, I would expect, if they don't get over $1 organically, there's going to be a reverse split proposal for Highcroft. And then right after that, there will probably be a dilution to raise money for this sulfide mill. So if I had to game it out, if I was in the executive suite, what I would try and do is have my budget, knowing how much I need for the sulfide mill before I do a reverse split and a dilution, so that I can pitch all that to you at the same time. Or maybe they won't tell us about the sulfide mill. They'll just do the reverse split and the dilution. They'll raise a bunch of money, which sounds really, really great. And then they'll say, oh, by the way, we're spending all this money we just raised on a sulfide mill. But at any rate, this is not necessarily good news or bad news. I'm just kind of laying out what's going to happen with Highcroft. And the reason they have to do all this is, probably about half of the ore that's in the ground, to process it, they're going to need the sulfide mill. They have a lot of ore in the ground. That's the good thing that Highcroft has. But they need to do some operational improvements and to process it. So where am I at with Highcroft? I am long on Highcroft. I have some, I think, 25 calls in addition to the shares that I have. But I personally view this still right now, knowing what I know about what their plans are and where they're at, and that there's not going to be any meaningful drilling going on for probably a year or two. I'm considering this a speculative, risky investment, and I'm only looking to add on major dips. And I will sell on retail rips, and then I'll wait for it to dip back down and rebuy. So I will make money on it over the next 2 years doing that trading cycle. And then we'll see where we're at in a year or two. Do I think it could delist, Christian Princess? I think they'll take whatever steps they need to reverse split. I'm not worried about them delisting. All right, so we talked about the Bureau of Labor Statistics and CPI. We talked about Mullen. We talked about Highcroft. We talked about PRTY. Let's talk about GNS. GNS. What is the gentleman's name? Roger James Hamilton. Is that the right gentleman? I have not tried gold panning, Jeff. I have not. I've watched videos on it. It's fascinating stuff. I watched a great interview. I retweeted it. I put it on my community tab today with the CEO from GNS, Genius Group Limited, and Wes Christian. I applaud anybody who is taking any steps to root up malfeasance and manipulation. That goes for GTII, Created, Finger, Genius. All these guys have my full support, and I wish them all the best. I will say, from listening to Wes Christian and looking through Share Intel's stuff, that my opinion, and this is Wes's own words, you guys have heard me say this before, some of these companies aren't going to like the data that they get back. I hope that some of them find the data they're looking for. These are not the droids you're looking for. Some of them, I hope, will get the data they're looking for, though. Some of them will find out that they were shorted legally because their financials are a mess. And unfortunately, if you pull up the financials of GNS, they're a bit of a mess. Over the last several years, they've been increasing revenues, but they've been increasing expenses faster than their gross revenue. So what is the result of that? They're losing more and more money than the previous year every year. So they are being targeted by short sellers, whether they're day trading or the investors just are losing faith, I think, because the financials are a mess. And I've been watching this stock since it really came on the scene a week or two ago, and looking at the short interest, which has basically been zero reported short interest. It was, to be fair, it was 0.5%. But I see people making videos saying the short squeeze is on. Genius Group, we're going to wreck those shorts. There's no reported short interest on this stock, guys. Today, it went up to 1.5%. Like, my threshold to even call something a potential short squeeze is 20%. And I know what you're saying. I know you're yelling at the screen. Tony, it's all those naked shorts that aren't being reported. Maybe. But I don't talk about stuff I can't see. That's going to be a multi-year legal battle. And I'll let Wes Christian talk about that when the time is right. I talk about data I can show you. And for deep fucking value, Roaring Kitty, the Ortex data on GME being over 100% was good enough. He trusted the data. I trust the data also. Now, that doesn't mean I don't discount malfeasance and naked shorting and synthetic shares. All of that exists to some extent. But I cannot call a play a short squeeze when it has 0.5% of reported short interest. So what happened today? Why the run up? They reported, we already knew, excitement was building because people love a company that is hiring West Christian to go after the naked shorters. People love that. So retail's moving into the play. I got no problem with that if you want to do that. And then today, they announced the possibility of a special dividend. I heard him say in the interview, it sounds like he's going to throw off a special dividend from one of the other companies that he owns. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And I said early this morning to several people that asked me about it on DMs and Discord that there'll be some buying pressure on this. Retail is going to love this. It's like chum in the water. And they did. Let's pull up GNS. By the way, I am long on GNS overnight. I have it's at 284 right now, closed in after hours. My own personal targets, I'll have a stop loss at $2, and I have a preset good till canceled sell at $5. I'll talk about why in a second. Let's pull up why I have the $5, and then I'll talk about what could be going on. And here's where we get into really tinfoil hat shit. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is this is not the first time I have seen stuff like this play out. Genius Group, where are you at? This site is dilutiontracker.com. One thing when I see something running up inexplicably, I always question the motives. Why is it running up? Could retail be being given the rope-a-dope? I'm just going to lay out a possibility for you that maybe retail is being given the rope-a-dope. If it was being targeted by shorts, was it one particular person that was shorting it, and did they get out of the way right now? Why would they do that? I already think that Roger jumped on the West Christian bandwagon because he's got an upcoming share offering. You guys can Google that for yourself. $7.5 million worth of shares. Plus, he owns a fair percentage of the company himself, but that's neither here nor there. I'm not holding him personally accountable for anything as far as like trying to enrich himself. But look at this. Convertible notes with a conversion price of $5.17. Wouldn't it be interesting, guys, if they allow this thing to run up right over $5.17 so that someone who is getting hammered on their notes because the company's stock has been falling is able to convert them to equity on your dime because you're the ones buying it up. Like I said, it's kind of tinfoil hatty. We'll know if this little conspiracy theory is correct if it runs up just over $5-6 and then dumps. In the meantime, have fun, make some money. I know a lot of people got rich today. Beautiful. We had people in the Discord trading this all day. Some are mad because they sold too soon. But at the end of the day, guys, never kick yourself if you took a profit. You're going to kick yourself worse if you had a profit in the hand and then it dumped So take some profits along the way. What else? Stephen, did you decide if you want to come on and talk about options? Again, just to be clear, I have no problem with anybody momentum trading GNS. I have a long position I'm carrying overnight. Make money while the getting's good. If you're scared to get in now, I don't blame you. The risk is high right now, the higher up it goes. And always be taking profits. That's the mantra I'm going to leave you with. Six Sun says I made $40. Yeah, let's look at the volume today on GNS. I saw the CEO tweeting out, "Isn't it's a little weird that our volume is so high?" I'm not sure why anybody would think that. Why is it weird? There were a shit ton of people day trading this thing. Volume 269 million on a free float of 10 million. So it traded 25x the float. But guys, I can guarantee you there were, as cheap as it is, there were big day traders buying lots of shares. If you were a if you were a day trader with lots of liquidity, you would, without a doubt, be and take advantage of a chart like that. That's just like, that's gravy. You'd be buying 100,000, 200,000, 500,000 shares. Let it go up a few pennies, see if the momentum's holding, jump back in, upsize your position, ride it some more. And when it slows down a little bit, if my theory is correct, they want it to get to $5. When it slows down a little bit, someone, not saying who, someone's going to go in there and make sure it doesn't fall too far. And then when it's really low volume and after hours, they're going to bump it up a little bit more to get you really excited for pre-market so that we can get over $5 by tomorrow. Let's see what happens. I don't know. It could tank in the morning, but $5 would not surprise me tomorrow on this stock. Stephen, I did not get in early on Genius. No. I thought about the convertible bond thing too late. If I would have looked into that early enough, I would have got in at 50 cents and just rode it. All right. What else do we have on the agenda today? Let me take a look here. Oh, yeah. GameStop. Let's talk GameStop real quick. I don't know if you guys tune in to Reddit, not Super Stonk, but the GameStop, r/GameStop. I tune into this, and for many stocks that I'm holding for the long term, I do have a long position on GameStop. But I like to get a pulse, not only from news articles, which can be biased, but also from Reddit, which can also be biased. But here in this particular subreddit, you get a lot of postings from staff, people working at GameStop. And if you didn't know this, if you haven't been checking this subreddit, GameStop's in the middle of a middle management layoffs and restructuring. And I don't think people are really talking about that. Maybe you guys don't even know about that. So I'm just throwing this out there for you to go do your own DD. They're laying off district managers. They're laying off store managers and giving them multiple stores. The ones that are left are now being assigned 2 or 3 stores. Hours are being cut back in some stores. Some stores are being told to close in the middle of the day. And all of that, you could spin it as great, or you could spin it as caution flag, depending on your conviction in the play. I just look at it for what it is. This is a cost-cutting measure. And cost-cutting measures can either be, they can either do them in advance to stay out of trouble, or they can do them reactionary because they're in trouble. That I can't tell you where it is, because we're still a month and a half or 2 away from getting the Q4 numbers. But I'll tell you what I did do. I bought some far out puts to hedge my own long position, just in case there is some bad news that comes out. If I lose money on the puts, that's not a big deal to me. But if I would like to hold my shares, even if it goes down, by buying the put, it protects, hedges my long position so that I can continue to hold it and offset any temporary loss in the shares by collecting premium or collecting profits from the puts. I'm not telling you to do that. I have no idea if the stock is going to go down. It will go down if there is worse news than anticipated. Q4 could be gangbuster, guys. This is just me being my normal cautious self. The other thing that they did, you guys might have heard about this, is they're closing the entire fulfillment center in Shepherdsville, Kentucky, and laying off all the staff there. Now, they have other fulfillment centers, and ostensibly with better lease arrangements. So again, you could just view this as smart cost-cutting measures. But I think, in fairness, it's good to talk about everything that's going on with the company so that you can, if you decide that you want to protect your position, you can make appropriate decisions. Or if you're thinking about buying GameStop now and you're worried about a press release or notes in the quarterly announcement about layoffs and store closures having a negative effect on the stock, that maybe you can wait and buy it cheaper than today's price. That's all I got on GameStop. I know there's people talking about GameStop is profitable. There's no accounting measurement by which GameStop is profitable. You can look at the last 5 to 7 quarters of income statement. I might even have it here. In terms of profitability, what we look at is the net income, or you can just look at the earnings per share. For like the last 7 quarters, they're all negative. This is not a profitable company. Now, can a company have a positive operating cash flow in 1 quarter and still not make a profit? Yes, that's why it's important not just to focus on cash flow. Cash flow is talking about if they had a positive cash flow, then they increased their amount of liquid assets for that quarter, but they still could have a loss. They still could be not profitable when you factor in all of the expenses of the company. That's what the income statement tells us. So I'll continue to stay long on GameStop because I am in that play for the hope that one day Ryan Cohen will have a game-changing transformational announcement that will send the stock soaring. Until then, I consider this a somewhat speculative play because they're in a declining business model based on the fact that game sales are moving towards a digital format. And, if Ryan transforms the company into something new, and I'm not counting on NFTs in my thesis, then, GameStop has a shot. So I'll take a small speculative position on that. And that's what I'm in the play for. They have plenty of cash. They have no debt. They're not in imminent bankruptcy risk. So just trying to give you the balanced view of what's going on with GameStop and why I am long in the company and what risks I'm worried about. All right. I think that covers all the shit I wanted to talk about tonight. Let's see what questions you guys have. Sufyan, thank you. Sufyan CPA says great accounting DD. I'm trying to I've been spending a lot of time, Sufyan, as you know, trying to beef up. I'm pretty good at balance sheets and income statements. I've been spending a lot of time the last month beefing up and refreshing. Guys, it's been 30 years since I took my accounting classes, and I'm not a CPA. But the thing that I look at the least has tended to be cash flow statements, just because for my trading style, in and out, it's less important, or understanding where I think a stock is going to be going. But since some people seem to only want to focus on cash flow statements, I've been beefing up my studies here recently to make sure I give you guys a non-biased view on it. And I can tell you, any CPA or Wall Street person you talk to is not going to tell you a company's profitable because their cash flow or their operating cash flow is positive. That is a smokescreen, guys. Somebody telling you that. Broke Ape says, I just got threatened if I can't bring in more money to the company in 4 weeks, they will have to renegotiate my salary. Screw that, man. By the flip side, if you guys are bringing in more money to the company, I hope that some of you, if you're in a position to have a monetary impact to your company, that you're negotiating for bonuses or salaries relative to your contributions to the company. Be smart. Know your worth. Debt ceiling. Yuka, thank you for asking. So I haven't looked at the news tonight. I have not looked to see if they passed or about to pass a midnight bill. But even if they don't, there's some extraordinary measures. Who is it? Yellen that Yellen can use. There's some extraordinary measures they can use to get us through to June or July. So it's not the end of the world, but if they don't fix the debt ceiling, if they don't come to some agreement, it's not the best look, right? Christopher says, I think it was Camelot who said, yeah, guys, check out Camelot 331. He's not a finance guy. He's not a stock guy, but he is an ex-GameStop employee. Someone say he has an axe to grind. I'll leave that up to your discretion to decide or not. But he gets a lot of input from current and former GameStop employees. Camelot 331. Go check out his channel. Christopher says, Camelot said that GME's Q4 numbers are supposed to be abysmal. I don't know. I didn't see that video. I did not see that video, so I can't comment on that. I do know that they loaded up in inventory in Q3, which is fine. You know, you want to do that going into the Christmas season. And a lot of pictures that I'm seeing around the country are showing stores that are low on inventory, except plushies. Those plushy stuffed animals, they sure seem to have a lot of those. But just from looking at pictures, it looks like they sold through a lot of their inventory, but I don't know what was in the warehouse. You would think if they had stuff in the warehouse, they'd replenish the stores. I don't know. Well, I'm on a wait and see attitude with Q4. I'm not going to give you any predictions if it's going to be great, okay, or bad. I don't know. We'll cover that when it comes out. John's Day Trade says, do they ever not raise the debt ceiling? Nope. They've never failed to raise it when it was needed, John. All right. Let me go up and see what questions we have here. How many shares can Adam Aaron sell if we vote to convert and reverse split? 8 for AMC. If both votes were passed, I'm based on my read on the situation, AMC would have 1.5 billion-ish shares authorized, and then the reverse split would drop the float down to about 150 million. So you do the math. 1.5 billion minus 150 million. What does that mean? He's going to sell 1.3 billion shares of AMC after reverse split? No, that would be silly. I see a couple of y'all talking about WISA. That is not a ticker I'm familiar with. WISA. $0.12 stock. It was at 9 today. It's currently at 15. I try not to. I don't spend a lot of time, guys, covering penny stocks unless everybody is buying into it and I see some shenanigans going on. By shenanigans, I mean people on YouTube telling you that the short interest is 1,000%, something like that, when it's really 30%. All right. If I miss your question, feel free to retype it. Angelina, thank you for manning the mod station tonight. Just a repeat request to the mods, just a gentle reminder, please don't boot people unless, you know, if they're being insulting in the chat, you have my permission to boot them. If they're repeating the same question over and over and over, you can boot them or mute them, would be preferred. But we've had some, you know, regular members of this channel in the past couple of weeks that for some reason have been blocked, and that wasn't by me. So I want to avoid that if at all possible. Six Sun says, was Antara shorting 8 before the purchase? It looks like they were, Six Sun. As we expected, many institutions were shorting APE. Antara is an opportunistic firm. So if you're a high-speed trading firm or a hedge fund that is opportunistic. You're going to trade stocks in the direction they're moving. APE was going down. It looks from the data that I've seen like they were shorting it until they went long. Now they're locked into a long position. And the other thing that I just want to mention on that is they are a bondholder, a debt holder on AMC. And it is very, very common, guys, if you're a debt holder in a company and the company's price is going down and interest rates are going up and the value of your bonds are dropping, that you hedge that or recoup that by going short on the common stock. So on the one hand, you could say they were being opportunistic or predatory. You could also make a case that they were hedging the loss of value of the debt they're holding. Very, very common scenario. One other AMC FUD that's going on. Someone asked me about did AMC really plan this since 2013, Tony? They have these anti-takeover provisions, and Adam Aaron's been planning this since 2013. Tony, it's all been a setup. Lord, man, the theories people come up with. AMC does have an anti-takeover provision that has what we call a blank check preferred stock and several other things. You guys can go read it back in the 2013 initial filing. What I want you guys to know is AMC is incorporated in Delaware, as are many companies, including Tesla and hundreds of other companies that you know. And I think if you spend the actual time not looking for a conspiracy, but looking into things like the benefits of incorporating in Delaware, what is a blank check preferred stock, what is the anti-takeover provision, you will find that the exact same wording that is in AMC's initial prospectus is in many other companies' prospectus, including Tesla. Did you know that exact same wording was in Tesla's prospectus? Are they planning some grand conspiracy on you? Or is it the reality that if you have good attorneys and you incorporate in Delaware, you incorporate the boilerplate language for anti-takeover and blank check preferred stock in your initial prospectus, because that is a benefit of incorporating in Delaware, and everybody fucking does it. Not everything is a conspiracy theory, just some of you guys are looking for one where it doesn't exist because your bias is screwed up. That is boilerplate language found in many companies' initial prospectus. It's not some grand conspiracy. Good Lord. Maggie, thank you. I appreciate you more than you know, Maggie. How are things going up in Maine? Is it cold up there? I'm cold down here, Maggie. It's like, it feels like it's 55. I had to wear a long sleeve shirt today. Scott K, thank you. Bank of America. All right, so we either have a rational explanation or we've got a conspiracy explanation for Bank of America, depending on what you want to believe. I'm not going to tell you what to believe. That's up to you. I say all possibilities are possible, so I'm not going to cast any judgment. But here's what I know: there were people, many around the country, that had money missing from their Bank of America accounts in the morning yesterday, and by the end of the day, Bank of America came out and said this was a problem with Zelle, and we have it resolved, and your balances will be fixed. Now, I've seen very little follow-up from anybody saying, I didn't have Zelle and my account balance got screwed up. That's really what I'm looking for right now. I just haven't had time to look into it. But if you were a BOA customer that was affected by this and it was not related to any Zelle transactions you've done in the past 10 days, I want to know right now in the comments, because that is the information I'm looking for. The other theory is that Bank of America was having liquidity issues and they pulled a fast one on their customers. That could also be true, and the Zelle explanation is a smokescreen. But I can't tell you exactly until I hear from more people, and I'm looking, just haven't had much time today to look to see what the follow-ups were. Just Mike is AVCT garbage. It seems like it, Mike. Seems like it. Juan 1234 says, well, CEI rip every year like it does. CEI, along with many of these retail pump and dump stocks, Juan, I will say all of them have the potential to get pops on news. So I wouldn't count it out, but it's not a stock that I hold. Those are the type of stocks I would consider buying a little bit of them if they were at the bottom of the channel and I didn't think that they were in any immediate risk of going bankrupt, just in case they get some news. Like, look at this rip right here from, that wasn't a split, right? From $3 to $7. That wasn't a reverse split. I don't think. I don't see the little symbol for split. But yeah, I mean, there's chances. Here's another little rip. Here's another one. If you can buy it cheap enough and be patient and you're okay with losing whatever you put in just in case it doesn't work out. Oh, this was the reverse split here. 1221. But yeah, I'm not a fan of this penny stock company, and it will probably continue to go down unless they have news. Back down below $1 in short order. I'm not in any rush to buy CEI. Maggie Scarlett is doing well. I see her. What are you getting? What are you getting? A snack?
I'm feeding the bunny.
Oh, she's feeding the bunnies. Surprise. Yeah, she's up and around, Maggie. Dealing with some minor pains still from the collarbone mending. We got her stitches, her sutures and staples out of her skull. That's all mended up. She's on the mend. Six Sun, I took a look at WISA, but I'm not going to do a deep dive on a penny stock right now. 12-cent stock, not something until it gets moving more. It's not something right now in this live stream that I'll look into. Is GNS done, Maggie? We'll know in the morning. I'll be selling if it drops. I have some shares. I'll be selling if it drops to 2. Otherwise, I have a good till canceled to sell at $5 even. If you scroll back in this video, I covered about 30 minutes ago GNS and what I think they're doing, and my little tinfoil hat theory, why I think they want to let it run over $5. Edward. Edward says Ape Radio said that I was going to DC for the March. I haven't tuned into Ape Radio recently. I've just been too busy. I do check in with them from time to time, especially if I'm driving around and they happen to be broadcasting something to listen to while I'm driving. I don't have to be looking at a screen, and I like to plug in and hear what people are thinking and saying. I have not made up my mind on the March, but I do want to take this opportunity, Edward, thank you, to encourage you guys. If you feel like you want to go to the SEC and protest, I do support the Marine and anybody that is out there doing what they feel like is necessary to protest at the SEC. I do not believe that protests or lawsuits will cause a halt in a stock. So I say if that is something you feel that you are called to do, then you should go do it. And if I have it correct, I think the dates are what, the 27th and 28th. And if that's something you're interested in, go check out the Marines channel on YouTube or check him out on Twitter. I think he has a Discord also talking about each of the cities that they are permitted and planning to do protests in. I have not stated if I was going to any protests, so I don't know who on Ape Radio would be saying that or why, but many people say many things about me that aren't true, so that is not surprising. Why would you listen to Ape Radio when you have InfoWars? Like I said, I listen to many space calls when I have time on a variety of tickers just to hear what investor sentiment is like, what questions people are asking, what theories they have, whether it's a topic that whether they're saying they want to vote no on the reverse split or vote yes. I still want to listen and hear what people are saying, hear what people are thinking. MMTLP is another one that I try and tune into from time to time. Elmo said that. Elmo, you know better than that. I love Elmo's voice. Cracks me up every time. But no, I've never publicly stated anywhere that I was going to a protest. So that is incorrect information. What do I think of Trump coming back to Twitter? I saw that news, Nick, and it really surprised me because he seemed to, be pretty certain that he was going to support Truth Social and not Twitter. And then I thought to myself, well, since when has Donald Trump ever stuck to something that he said? I like Donald Trump. Is he a flawed human? Yes, but I like that he stands up for his beliefs, even if he is sometimes rude about it. Well, fuck, I'm rude about shit sometimes too. I'm not that rude, but I admire the fact that he does not back down in the face of criticism. That I admire about him. But that being said, I think I was surprised that he said he would never come back to Twitter. I admire him sticking up for Truth Social, but he enjoys being the center of attention. He enjoys the limelight. It seems inevitable to me that he could stay away from Twitter forever. Charles Baker says GNS is a pump and dump. Watch your back. Yeah, Charles, scroll back 30, 40 minutes and look at the segment where we covered Genius. Christian Princess says, I would love to see Genius hit 10. Wouldn't we all, Christian? I'm thinking if it gets slightly over 5, the dump will be in. We'll see. I don't know if it will get to 5, but that's where I think it's headed. 517, 525, 550, maybe 6. I would be very careful if look, this is a small channel. We're not going to impact anybody's buying on Genius. But if you're buying at the $5 level, be very careful, would be my advice. Nick says, what did I think of the Netflix earnings? I just caught it in passing, Nick. Let me put it up on the screen. What I saw, let me just pull up the headline. Netflix. 5 minutes. So they were trading, I do not own Netflix. They were trading at 322, popped to 345, currently at 338. Come on. Netflix reported earnings for fourth quarter. God damn ads. Adjusted earnings per share. I don't like adjusted earnings per share. I want to see what the real earnings were, but adjusted earnings per share came in at 12 cents, which missed analyst estimate of 55 cents. Holy crap. But why did it go up? Sales increased 1.8% year over year, with revenue hitting 7.8 billion, near match for what analysts were looking for. Subscriber base increased by 7.6 million, which was more than its goal of 4.5 million. Looking forward, the company expects to add 2.6 million net new subscribers in the first quarter of 2023. Overall, Wall Street has a price target of $3.29 on Netflix. So they did increase their subscriber base and they met the revenue numbers. But earnings, I would need to look at the financials to understand those earnings. And I'd just say caution if you're looking at a news article that's talking about adjusted earnings, I would say go look at the SEC filing and see what the real earnings were. Adjusted is what the company wants to tell you. They adjust some things to account for this and that. No, I want to see what's on the income statement. Netflix told their CEO to hit the road. Yeah, what was there? Are they having dual CEOs now? Did I see that correctly? Reed Hastings steps aside as Netflix CEO, leaving the position to his two longtime associates, Ted and Greg. Yeah, I do not know anything about the executives at Netflix because I don't invest in that stock. We canceled our Netflix membership. That's what I think of that company. Let's zoom out. It's about 50% off the recent high of $700. If they get this straightened out and you want to buy Netflix and hold it for 5 years, 315 still is not what I would call overpriced. But you're going to have to be patient with this company while they sort out a bit of a mess. And there could be future potential dips where you might be able to buy it cheaper. I'm not in any rush to buy Netflix. Too many streaming content providers. Don't like the space. Too much competition. Proud Ma, thank you for joining in. Go plug that phone in and maybe we'll still be here. Doc Zeno, what did you say? Oh, he's talking to Yuka. I saw someone ask earlier, what do I think AMC is going to do price-wise tomorrow? Max Pain is $7. We're well off $7. We're at $5.52, $5.53 after hours. The high yesterday was 655. I had a shot call posted in the Discord today just to close in the green. That's what I would have been happy with today. We missed it by 13 cents. I say tomorrow's a grab bag, guys. Equal chance that it'll run up close to $7 is stay right where it's at. That's a big ask. Everybody's got a big ask, Dottie. It's a big ask to run from $5.50 to $7, but I've seen stranger things happen. Clark is asking about GTI. Do you mean GTII? Traders Anonymous says GNS could easily hit 5 if volume stays. I agree with you. $5 for GNS is not out of the cards for tomorrow. Check pre-market when you wake up. It could hit 5 before the market opens, and then 5.50, and then go down through the day. But keep an eye on it in pre-market. Wake up early. BTW says, any opinion on Ham Short Killer saying Ape has 1 billion shorts, claims he has seen them? I don't know. I missed that tweet. Just Do It says, guessing red day on Friday. Charles says the executives at Netflix don't take stock in their compensation, they take cash. So what does that tell you? When I hear that, I think that the executives are not aligned with the interest of the shareholders. I would prefer a large percentage of their compensation be stock-based, based on performance of the stock. I would think, just spitballing here, that they don't have a lot of high expectations for the stock. Just Another Ape says, Tony, do you think we could have a meme stock rally in remembrance of January 2021 next week? I did see Ant Card's video. I'd love it to be true, but I don't. I've watched 2 years of TA videos, you guys, and not one of them has been right. You guys know, if you're a longtime viewer here, that I've said many times I don't believe in TA for meme stocks. I do not believe in repeating algorithms. I believe that the trading is driven by algorithms. I don't think that the algorithms are set to repeat in cycles. Hopefully that is clear. That the trading is run by algorithms. I do not think that the algorithms are set to just automatically repeat themselves on an annual or cyclical basis. I think they're designed to take inputs about what's going on with the economy or the company or the institution's desires to move that stock a certain direction. And when they decide to flip it, or things change in the economy or news specific to the company, then the algorithm adapts, or human input changes the direction of the algorithm. Sometimes they find that they're being beat out by a competitor and their algorithm's not working, and then they got to go in and tweak it. It's a complex and competitive computerized trading environment out there. Captain Arma says, do you think it's better to buy more AMC or Ape, or just keep them equal? Well, I can't give you any specific advice at this point, Captain Arma. I've talked about what I have been doing, which was buying up until they announced the coming vote. You know, what was that? December 22nd. I was buying APE, and more of it, the cheaper it got. Then they announced the vote, which was why I was buying APE for the arbitrage play on a future vote announcement. And so then I stopped buying APE because I already have far more APE than I do AMC. And then AMC kept falling and falling and falling, and I added more AMC at, even though, why, I don't know. It's the largest single position in my entire portfolio. And I really don't want to be adding more AMC or APE because I don't want to be overweighted in one ticker. I'm really trying to buy things like Apple, Tesla, Amazon, Meta. I added, looking at Disney and a few others, blue chip stocks that are beat down. But AMC was so damn cheap. I added some at $3.90 a week or so ago. That's what I have done. I'm not adding any of either at these prices. I'm just waiting to see, what kind of run-ups we get prior to the vote. A lot of unknowns, a lot of volatility, a lot of exciting things potentially ahead. Ellie says, Stream gains shows the algos repeat. I mean, yes. I mean, we can find patterns in many stocks, Ellie. It's up to personal judgment if that is just a pattern repeating that we're seeing, or if it's, I mean, the whole Wyckoff distribution is based on patterns, right? There are patterns in stocks, accumulation and distribution, without a doubt. Run-ups are followed by, prices coming down. What I'm saying is I don't think that it is programmed necessarily to repeat certain patterns on a set time frame. They're definitely designed to take money out of your pocket just like a stripper. They run the price up, you get excited, you buy calls, and then they pull the rug, whether that's 50-cent run, $1 run, $2 run, $5 run, and they sell on that run up that you just created, and they short. They accumulate as it's going down, then they stop and they let it run up, or they trick it into running up, and people pile in, people buy calls, and everything that they accumulated while they were running it down, when it peaks and they're ready to take their profit, and they're not looking for MOAS, they're happy with 10 cents. If they got 50 cents or $1 on millions of shares, that's a good week. They stop the buying and they turn on the shorting, and you get stuck holding the bag, and they run it back down, and they will repeat that just like a stripper doing a lap dance to take the money out of your wallet. So you got to be smart and buy on the dips, not the rips. Think like they think. And if you want to be a trader, I'm not talking AMC, I'm just talking any stock. If you want to be a trader, buy on those dips and sell on those rips. Don't hold everything for home runs. Every stock has those patterns. Accumulation, distribution equals ripping retail's money out of their pockets. If there's overwhelming good news for the company or overwhelming economic news, the rips will be longer and longer, and it's harder for them to short it. But right now they just, in a bad news, high interest rate environment, they can whipsaw it pretty much to do whatever they want. Chicken Lover, GNS, scroll back 30 to 40 minutes in the live stream and listen to my little speech on GNS. Any hope for PRTY? Not in the short term, Hector. They're going to be filing. They're going through bankruptcy. scroll back to the beginning of the live stream and when I put the party screen up and listen to my little talk on PRTY. Six Son says, please, Tony, let's not pick on the strippers. Hey, I have a lot of respect for the skill and the guile that strippers have, their ability to separate customers' money from their pant pocket or the ATM. But you're out of cash. We have an ATM right over here. Here, let me walk you to it. He's my customer, bitch. Get away. Yeah, we're going to the ATM. Woo, party at my house after work. Whoop, whoop. Clark says, I don't think the algorithms are designed for retail to win. No, they're absolutely not designed for us to win, Clark. That's why I try and think like they think. And a lot of the plays that I'm doing on all these penny stocks and momentum plays is the opposite of what you guys are doing, because I'm trying to think like the institutional investor. You're looking at PRTY or Revlon or Tough Built or Redbox with your $1,000 price targets, and I'm just looking to get in low and get out fast, because that's what they're going to do. Would I say Ape is in the buy zone around 150 or 160? I guess it's too unknown right now with the community being mixed on how the vote is going to turn out. Look, if the votes are no, Ape is going to drop back down to 60 cents. I think that is, in my mind, a foregone conclusion. So I can't answer that question for you. How do you think the vote is going to turn out? If it's a no vote, Adam Aaron still needs to raise money. He's going to announce $1 billion, $2 billion, $3 billion more Ape as dilution, and Ape will tank. So I'm not adding any more right now. That's just me. What do you think? What do you think you should do? Am I still open to having Teddy Zane collab? Anytime, Sufyan. Of course. I love Teddy. Teddy said he'll come on if I buy a Marvel Superheroes clingy shirt and wear it on the live stream with him. So I am going to do that, and I'm going to hold him to his word. I told him I need about a month to lose a little bit of weight, get back in the gym, get the shoulders built up a little bit again. So I haven't ordered the shirt yet, but tomorrow I'll be 20 days into my carnivore diet, and my second weigh-in of the month will be tomorrow morning. B says you have to wait for settled cash to trade the first time on Moomoo. I don't know. I don't own Moomoo. I mean, I don't have a Moomoo account. Can anybody answer that question? Clark says, Julie and I bought an extra 300 Ape shares while the price was coming down so we could swing trade. Yes. I think that's wise, Clark. And I've said this before. I'm pretty sure on the lives. I've definitely said it in my Discord. The Ape that I bought, look, I've got my initial AMC. I got my Ape that was distributed from that. And you guys know I've been adding Ape since August. More and more, the cheaper it got, all the way down to $1. That is a swing trade position. That incremental Ape that I added was always meant to be a profit-making swing trade position. I will hold on to my original AMC and Ape. I will take the incremental ones that I've been adding since August to trade on a significant move up on Ape. What does that mean for me right now? I would like to sell them over $3. I don't know if we'll see that. I can't tell you that. That's just my like line in the sand. I'd love to see it go well past that, but I don't know. If I could sell for $3, I'd be happy. Proud Ma says Highcroft needs profit. It's going to be a long time, Proud Ma, a year or two before Highcroft's going to show a profit. Scroll back 45 minutes in this live stream, and we had our little Highcroft discussion. All right, what other questions you got? Otherwise, we're going to wrap it up and try and get a little sleep so we can watch GNS in the morning. I mean, I'm not tired, and I'd love to hang out with you guys all night, but I do want to try and wake up about 4 in the morning for that potential, not guaranteed, but that potential GNS continued rip. Charles says we all should have sold ape on day one and tripled. We should have. I fucked that one up, Charles. I had too much faith in retail, and I did not stick by my normal conviction that announcing dilution would be negative for the stock. And even if I thought it would be negative, I didn't think it would be to the extent of getting run down 90%. Just horrible. Six Sun, yes, I already have a order in. Good till canceled automatic sell at $5 for GNS. I guess technically I don't have to wake up. If it hits 5, I'll be out. But it'll be fun to watch and see what happens. If it tanks, if it runs to 5 in pre-market and then tanks when the market opens, or if they let it run up or retail FOMOs it well past 5. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Charles, if you scroll back about 45 minutes or an hour in this live stream, I covered why I think they want to let it run at least to 517. That's my tinfoil hat theory based on some convertible bonds that have a 517 exercise price. After that, I think that the bondholder, if it goes that high, there's a good chance the bondholder could convert their debt into equity. Gus got a question for you guys. Gus wants to know, ooh, this would be a good one. Who thinks the ape conversion who thinks the ape conversion is a bad thing? Gus, anyone who sold their ape is going to say it's a bad thing. And you know there were a lot, Gus. There was a lot of that going on, people selling their ape to move it to AMC. They do not want to see conversion. But I think it's pretty split. You know, when I listen to people talk and I look at Twitter and comments and content creators, it seems about 50-50. It's going to be interesting. But I truly am withholding my decision until I see the proxy, if there's any contingencies, what else they can tell us. Many unknowns, and I need to see the proxy statement. Still no thoughts on Palantir, Andrew. It's on my to-do list. It's been a year since I looked into them. I've forgotten all that by now. I've talked to Massalorian about it a couple times. He, I think, is bullish on Palantir, which is more reason that he has given me some reasons that he likes it. I need to do my own due diligence. I owned some in 2021 for a brief amount of time, and then I sold it. Did GNS get halted during the day? I think it did, if I recall correctly. Who was watching it closer than me? How big is the bond position on GNS? It's a little over 3 million shares. 3.5 million shares. 18 million bucks. $10.49. I will go 11 more minutes just to hang out. Let's pour one more nightcap. Oh, I still got drink left in here. Let's do some water, and then I'll finish this drink. Scott says, do you want dilution at 60 cents or $70? That is really the key question, Scott. That's what I'm debating in my own head. Now, I can't really know until I see the proxy statement, but I've done the math on a billion shares at 60 cents versus 100 million shares, which would be the same dilution. 100 million shares at worst case, let's just say $20. Which one is more dilution? Which one gives you more bang for the buck? Let's put it that way. If you're going to dilute a billion shares, say 100 million AMC after a reverse split at $20, or a billion ape at 60 cents, which is more strategically smart? And the AMC is not going to open at $20. It's going to open 40, 50, 60. I don't know. Doc Zeno says, yes, GNS was halted several times today. Real Rugged says, where is Hollywood to support the movie industry, to support AMC? Good question. And why are we paying Nicole Kidman? Why is she not doing it for free, Rugged? God dang. At least we have, some advocates on our side, like James Cameron, Tom Cruise. Andrew says, if the vote fails, whether yes or no, well, I don't know. I mean, one of them's going to be, I don't know how both could be a fail, Andrew. Either way, whether we vote yes or no, there will be more dilution. That I think is a given, as we've talked about many, many times. Why? Because the company is strategically planning. They're not comfortable with only having 500,000 in cash, 500 million, sorry. And they're going to continue to pad the bank account until the industry has recovered, and that's at least a year away. At least. They're not just going to sit by and ride it to the grave like some of you guys. I know you guys say, well, I'll just ride AMC to zero. They are not going to be content to ride AMC to zero. The board is not going to let that happen. They're going to raise money and keep the company alive. Whether the vote is a yes or no, there will be more dilution. For those that are too many drinks in, it is more advantageous to dilute 100 million shares at $20 than a billion at 60 cents, or even 2 billion at 60 cents. 2 billion ape at 60 cents is less income and twice the dilution of 100 million AMC at $20. Pretty crazy. And diluting ape, if you haven't heard me say it yet, diluting ape is also diluting your AMC shares. You're not avoiding dilution by not holding ape. You're still getting diluted. If you only hold AMC and you let them sell 2 billion more ape, you are still getting diluted on your AMC shares. Why do I say that? Because all you got to do is look at the income statement, look at the amount of shares they have listed there, and look at how they calculate earnings per share. Everything is there. AMC plus ape is right there. You can see it with your own eyes. And all of them have votes. By every measure, we calculate dilution. Any ape that is issued dilutes AMC shares. Walker's World says, wouldn't it be better to sell your ape post reverse split instead of at $3? That's the unknown, Walker's World. There'll be lots of people that argue that. I'm just looking to make a profit. I don't know how the vote's going to turn out. Again, I'm talking about the extra ape that I've bought. I'm not talking about my core position. I'm talking about selling the ape I've bought since August at a profit. Since the vote outcome is unknown, it might be better to wait, but what if it's not? I'm a big believer in always be taking profits. If I have a decent profit on it, I will take it. If it runs up for some reason after the reverse split, I've got plenty of other AMC and ape to worry about. Nick says, Tony, if he dilutes, does it have to say in the filing how many shares he wants to dilute? It might not say that in the proxy statement. If they issue a prospectus, it would say in there, yes, or a shelf offering, an S1, whatever filing they put out saying what their intention is, that will say it, but I don't know if we'll know that at the time of the proxy statement. I would like them to communicate that. Yes. I would like them to give us some idea of their intentions. That would help me make up my mind. Doc Zeno says, AMC not worried one bit. PD Harris, good evening to you in Kentucky. AMC and ape is still 1-to-1 as far as I'm reading in the documents, PD Harris. The conversion rate as stated in the documents is every ape will convert to 1 AMC. Again, we'll know when we see the proxy statement, and we've heard Adam Aaron say this in that little interview that what was the young lady's name that interviewed him in the theater? Anyways, he said that he expects the float will increase to about 1.4 billion. I think it'll be just shy of 1.5 billion. So they will most likely ask us to authorize 1 billion new AMC shares so that all of the ape can come over 1 for 1. and then do the reverse split. That's what I'm expecting to see. Andrew says Adam Aaron could not sell ape on day one. Yeah, I see a lot of people asking, why didn't he just sell on day one when it was $10? It was only $10 for about an hour or less, a few minutes maybe. And the paperwork to start selling ape wasn't filed for 5 weeks later. That is a valid question, though. Why did he wait 4 or 5 weeks? I wish I knew. If I could get Adam Aaron alone in a room, that would be one of the questions I would ask him. Why the F did you wait 5 weeks to file to start selling ape? Like, was that just mismanagement? Did you misjudge people selling it? Was it planned? Were you trying to screw us over? There's all sorts of theories out there, Adam. What the heck was it? Best case, it was mismanagement. Misjudgment. Worst case, they were screwing us over. I don't know. I've heard it all. Nobody knows. Nick says if he does not announce a dilution after the reverse split within days, I will be furious. Nick, I will be right there with you. CEO Handbook, Chapter 2 says that after you do a reverse split, immediately issue a dilution. I would prefer him to do it the next day. Strike while the iron is hot. If we got another 4 or 5 week wait and I watch, if it's a yes vote and the reverse split and the price starts at 50 and then I'm watching it, everybody's not happy about the reverse split. Sell. I'm done with AMC. And then 5 weeks later, he does a dilution notice. I'm going to be fucking furious. I'll tell you right now. He will have pissed away the chance to lock in a decent amount of money. I am not paid by Adam Aaron. I'm not paid by AMC. If they piss me off, I'm going to fucking tell you. And I'm telling you right now, if they do that shit again, I'm going to be pissed off. And I will tell you that they fucked it up. Is that a question he could legally answer? I don't know, Nick. Maybe after he retires. I'm not in communication with Adam Aaron, so I don't have any way of asking him. Like I said, I've sent him a few complaints on Twitter DMs, and he's never once answered me. So mostly complaining about not having bartenders staffed in my local theaters on a weekend. No contesta. No answer. Adam, if you're listening, I would appreciate the courtesy of a reply. Why you can't pay the bartenders in Austin, Texas a little bit more and capture that liquor revenue, Adam. It's just like, why do we have bars with nobody working at them on a weekend? God damn, pisses me off. How many shares do they have left of Ape, Charles Baker? Not many. After the Antara deal is finished, it should be less than 100 million. And we don't know if he's been selling that 100 million that he had left. He could have been selling them now, some of them, while Ape is up. I hope he is. I'd rather him sell it at $1.50, $1.60, $2 than 60 cents. Broke Ape says, I'll personally slap the shit out of him. if we find out he's been playing us. I would too, Brook Ape. I'll line up right behind you. Doc Zeno says Adam Aaron is busy drinking all the time. That's an inside joke because we think that Doc Zeno is Adam Aaron. And in our Discord, he's always posting many delicious looking alcoholic beverages that he's partaking in the evenings. Doc is a particular fan of IPAs and dark beers, if I'm not mistaken, right, Doc? We're going to do one of these nights coming up, one of these weekends. I'm going to give you guys some advance notice. Oh, by the way, Doc Zeno, I just discovered that Specs in my area, hopefully you guys have a Specs, they have a whole aisle number 1 of single serve craft beers, thousands of them. I was thinking, like, if we're going to do a beer tasting live stream, and we're going to have 5 or 6 beers to taste, that means I'm going to have to buy 6 $10 6-packs to have a couple tastes. But now I discovered Specs has a whole aisle of single craft beers. Baby, it's on. Now I just got to buy 6 beers, not 6 6-packs. I could never drink. It'd take me 6 months to drink 6 6-packs. So if you guys are interested in a beer tasting live stream one weekend night, we're going to probably on a Monday publish the list of what you need to go buy, and we'll all do it together and just have fun and hang out. And I think we can talk Scarlett into that one. Who went today and took advantage of the popcorn 50% off? We did not, but by the way, if you're a member of Investor Connect, you should have an email from AMC for a free Oreo popcorn. And I do admit that looks good, but I'm going to save my coupon for after January because I'm being very strict on my no carb carnivore January. Once I get back in the gym at the end of this month, I can afford a few carbs. Mo Power says, I'm already taste testing. Angelina says, Adam Aaron talked to other CEOs and got advice. Angelina, I think Adam Aaron is giving advice to other CEOs. Diane Garrett. Oh, Rugged, I saw that headline. Yes, the DOJ is offering a 75% reduction in fines to companies that voluntarily come forward and admit their crimes. Ollie income free. We won't prosecute you. We'll just knock 75% off your fines. Come on in. The water's fine. We're going to take care of you. Just get all those nasty crimes out of the way. Step into the confessional. Whisper in my ear. You did what? Son, your penance is 5 Hail Marys and only $300,000. Go with God, son. Kenny, you're next. Come on in the confessional, Kenny. You did what? With a who? Don't worry, Kenny. That will only be a $500 million fine, 75% off, Kenny. And no prosecution. Sound good? I saw FINRA. I think FINRA said they're stepping up enforcement too. Guys, they're putting up a good smoke screen to make you guys think they're on top of this. FINRA and the DOJ are serious now about prosecuting crime in naked shorting and manipulation and failure to report properly. Nick says, DOJ doesn't have enough crime. We don't got enough people. Come tell us your sins. We're never going to catch you, but come on in. Every time I see a fine or some serious action, Bank of America was fined $1 million for crimes yesterday, for crimes committed between 2012 and 2015. God damn, son, it's 2023. You're just now getting on, we're going to be 1 foot in the grave, guys, by the time they sort all this shit out. What happened in 2020 to 2023, it's going to be damn near 2030. We're going to look back and we're going to say, about damn time. But I'm not even joking right now. All of the crime that is going on right now, it's going to be 5, 7, 10 years before you hear about it. That is just the sad state of affairs of the slow wheels of justice, the long time they take to get off their ass and build the case and collect evidence. They got to also wait for the person who was paid off to leave office and get the new guy in. But sorry, I don't have sound effects. I got to make up my own. Angelina says, I wanted to slap Massalorian when he said that. What did he say, Angelina? We do need a Black Swan event, Ellie. That would be helpful. That will get Congress's attention. Congress is asleep at the wheel or paid off to not care until things become so bad that they can't ignore it anymore. Black Swan, I'll take it, even though it's going to be painful for the entire country. That is the only thing that will initiate rapid action. Oh, Massalorian said to protest taxes. Oh, I need to go re-listen to that. Steven says, is the Black Swan event another meme stock rally? Well, I think a Black Swan event could cause another meme stock rally. He said no paying taxes until we stop border crossing. Holy shit. Massalorian. No wonder he's not answering my phone calls. Lordy. All right. One last ad to pay the light bills. Do me a favor, guys. If you're still here, watch the whole ad because I got some electricity bills to pay and Scarlett's not working. And if you got YouTube Premium, you don't have to worry about that. You're still here. Massalorian, if you are listening and you really said that, don't pay taxes until the border crossings stop. We need to have a talk. I want to hear more about this theory. Sufyan says we have more chance to get struck by lightning than a Black Swan event. Typically, they're like every 10 to 15 years. In our lifetime, we're likely to see another one. I can think of 3. We had the dot-com bubble. We had the 2008 or is that 2? I can think of 2. Dot-com in 2008. That's like in 30 years. We're probably due for at least one more before I kick the bucket, before I'm 6 feet under. If I continue to eat right and stay married to someone much younger than me. That keeps you young, by the way, gentlemen. GNS prediction, Gary, it's either going to crash in the morning or go over $5. It may do both. It may go just over 5 and then crash. That is my actual prediction. I have no idea if I'll be right, but scroll back about an hour and look for the GNS on the screen, and you'll hear my little tinfoil hat theory. Mullen, scroll back an hour and 10 minutes, and you'll see my Mullen talk. We're about to wrap up. I'm not going to repeat everything, but we went through all of these one by one. So just scroll back and you can find it. We're just hanging out, finishing up the last sips of our drink. Then we're going to call it a night, wake up at 4 or 5 a.m. and check on GNS in the morning and hope that all signals are green in the world markets. Let me do one last check here on global futures. US markets are green. Asian markets are green. All right. We might have a good day tomorrow. We will be shot calling AMC. I'll be live. If we have a significant run up tomorrow, shot call price, I'm going to say it right now, $6.50. Broke Ape, thank you, brother. Much appreciated. Scarlett, bless her heart. She's mostly stuck in bed, but she's trying to decide if she wants to go back to work in the veterinary field, saving your pets' lives, or if she wants to do something new while she's got this time to think. And she's looking at different jobs and stuff. And I'm like, you just need to slow your roll and heal. She's like, but I don't like not working. I appreciate that work ethic. But yeah, I gotta suck up all the extra bills while she's out of work. Just Another Ape says, I need $7 tomorrow. Oh man, $8 would be nice before March. Just Another Ape, but I know you got those weekly options. I'm gonna say a prayer for you, Stephen. If we're crushing up on $7, I'm gonna come with the Hulk Hogan shirt tomorrow and the Hulk Hogan hat. That would be a phenomenal day. $1.50 run up, unprecedented. But the max pain is $7, so it's not out of the realm of possibility. I've seen stranger things happen, but that is a big move to go from $5.50 to $7. Sure would be nice, though. Clark, thank you for tuning in. Juicy, what's up? I'm on modified work and I push myself to learn options. I'm just gonna share with you something I've been talking with Steven about, and something I've always say to the folks in the Discord. If you are up in options, one thing I like to do, first of all, is buy them in pairs if you can. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. But look, my own personal trading style is don't load the boat on options. That's a supplement to your regular trading because of the risk. Shouldn't be your primary trading, in my opinion. I've done all options trading before, and it worked great until it didn't, which was the .com crash. But it works great, in a market that is going one direction. It's easy to make money. In a topsy-turvy market like this, it's basically just gambling. You got to get everything right. But I like to buy them in pairs because if you're up 100%, you can at least sell one, or half of them. If you got 10, sell 5 and get your initial investment back. And then the rest is writing. That's just house money. If you're up 250% on an option, like some people were this week when AMC was running on an option that expires Friday, you should be taking some money off the table. And I was having this discussion in the Discord about people were up, really up. And I said, now you're facing that choice of take some money off the table or be really greedy and go for a home run. And I just let them make up their own minds. But I tell you what I will do every time is take money off the table. And if I choose to let the remainder run, that is then house money if I do that. I'm more conservative than your average crazy options fanatic, but that is from learning some difficult lessons over the last 30 years. There was a time before the dot-com bust where it was just so easy to make 1 to 500% on pretty much any call option that you bought just before earnings. Every freaking tech company earnings was a blowout. What a country. And you start thinking you're infallible until a market crash happens and your entire portfolio is invested in calls that have no chance of ever going in the money. And then you are fucked. That's why I don't do an all options portfolio anymore. But it is a fun way for me to, when I don't have time to go to Vegas, spend a couple $100 on some options if you got a good gut feeling. But if you're up, take the money, guys. This is a long game. Every week you can lock in any green is a better week next week. You don't want to be looking back on Friday and saying, fuck, man, I was up and I didn't fucking sell on options, right? Don't be greedy, right, Ellie? Angelina, you lost power. Are you on your phone, Angelina? If you want to learn options, at a minimum, go buy a book. Watch my beginner options trading videos. I have more to come on those, a lot more info to share, but I need more views on those videos to justify the full day it takes to put out one of those 10-minute videos. And I will get back to doing those if people find that they're valuable. But for sure, however you learn to do them, do paper trading first for several months if need be to see if your gut instincts are correct. And don't make the mistake of listening to people on YouTube that it's just so easy. Every options play I get in, I make money. No, they're not. No, they're not. If I can make money on half of them, that's a good week. But most of mine that I'm buying, I'm not buying weeklies. I'm buying options that are 3 months out, 6 months out, 2 years out. And even then, I don't get it right. Royal Caribbean comes to mind. Oh, speaking of which, what is Wynn Casino doing? I got some. Don't let me forget in the Discord tomorrow. I got Wynn Casino expiring tomorrow. Where are we at on win? 98.93. I need it over $100. So close. $1.07. Please, Lord, let it be a green day tomorrow. Royal Caribbean, I think, also expires tomorrow. I'm going to get boned on those. Bum, 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 bum. Thank you, Broke Ape. I appreciate that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I went an extra 24 minutes just because I love you so much. You guys had some great questions. Get your beauty sleep. Tomorrow is a new day. It's the last day of this week. It's options expiration day. It's going to be a fun day to see what happens with Genius. Again, if you are just joining in late, we covered all the topics in the video description. Just rewind, find the one that you're most interested in. You should be able to see it on the screen when I'm talking about it. And leave your comments down below, questions, not down below in chat, but after the video is done. If you got follow-up questions, feel free to drop them. I always like seeing your guys' comments and questions. I read them all. Whether or not I respond, I try to respond to the ones that I think I can help someone with. And yeah, I guess that's it. Thank you. Love you guys. Be good to one another. Everybody is entitled to their opinion. We all have different opinions on stuff. That is cool. No matter what your opinions are on things, you're always welcome here. Just unless your life is about name calling and denigrating other people, then you will never be welcome here. If you don't agree with my DD, that is cool. Keep it respectful. Be an adult. I love a good debate and good conversation and learning from one another. If you have no real DD and you resort to name calling or trolling, that says a lot about your character, not mine. Love you guys. Have a good night. We'll see you on the next one.